Let's get going. Okay, so the purpose of this is normally our sales Q&A, but I felt really compelled to, because I got the new kind of the revised telemarketing script out there, and then we've got people that are wanting to go back into the homes. So I wanted to just kind of go over the sales process, the standard sales submarine, the ATM sales submarine, kind of an overview again. And, so let me endorse this book right here, Asking Questions by Anthony Garrido. You got to get this book. This explains all the Sandler compartments and taking someone through the compartments. And like I said yesterday on last night's webinar, the how-to webinar, really all sales is taking a client through the process. If you recall my video that I did, the webinar I did on what you want the client to feel, that's really the essence of that comes from the Sandler sales submarine. We call it the ATM sales submarine because it's not like it's adapted. We actually use it through our ATM, the Alliance Training Manual. And all the top people use elements of it, if not all of it. They end up really using all of it, whether they know it or not. And so, like, our job to train brand new people in sales is to get you to that level of competency where you're closing, and it's not based on your personality, okay? Like how special your personality is. Basically, we got to teach you the basics so then you can apply your personality and everything about you that you bring to the table, and then can transform that into a process that takes care of a client, okay? Sometimes top salespeople are very hard to duplicate because you have to do exactly how they're doing it, but you don't have their personality. That's why sometimes people that even go out with Brant Swindell and some of the top people, they'll do a ride along, they can never really capture the essence of what they're doing when they come back and they make, they might hear a few elements that start working for them, but it's just hard to, really duplicate someone who's a top producer like Bruce. Okay, Bruce Kleek. You went around with Megan Wood, okay, or you hung out at Megan's house, okay. So you think, okay, if Bruce got with Megan, then maybe he can do what Megan's doing. Well, no. Neither does Chris Manafort, who's under Megan. He hasn't duplicated her. He's been trying, but he only does about half of what she does, right? So there's something else she's doing. She's trying to teach what she does, but she can't really give you everything that she does because a lot of it is unique to her. I mean, you got to be Megan Wood to get the rest of her results. But if you did the process that she's using, then you're going to get some results. And, Chris Manafort's a great example. He's getting half her results. And man, how many of you would, get half of Megan Wood results, right? Like 35,000 out of 70,000 wouldn't be too bad, right? So the trick for any sales manager is how do we get you starting out towards the path? And the only way I believe that works is teaching you a process that you can hang your hat on, and then you can apply your personality through the process. I always believe this, you got to know what you're trying to accomplish. Now, everyone says in sales, what I'm trying to accomplish is to close the client, right? I'm just trying to close the sale, okay? Well, that's a rather broad objective. You know what I'm saying? I think it's more accurate to say, I want to take care of people that want to be taken care of, right? I don't want to take care of people that don't want to be taken care of. And I want to know that sooner than later so I can move on. Like I want to filter those knuckleheads out, the people that don't love their families, the people that don't want to take care of their families now. I want to get rid of them ASAP so I can move on to the next person that wants to take care of their families. Okay, that's my objective in the sales process is this person a knucklehead or not? Does this person love their family where it makes sense to spend my time with them or not? In other words, does this person deserve to be my client that I'm going to spend my time, energy, and effort serving, not just today, but throughout our entire relationship through annual reviews different things that we're going to email them and text them through our CRM, it's going to be a long-term relationship. And what I mean long-term, it means you're going to spend more time, energy, and effort on somebody. So why waste your time for people that don't deserve to be your client, right? That's really the objective. In other words, don't throw your pearls to swine, right? Don't throw your pearls to swine. And that's really the objective of the standard sales system, is to filter out the pretenders, the tire kickers, the time wasters, and filter in the people that are worth your time to spend with them, okay? So let's pull out the whiteboard. Man, what would I be without my whiteboard? So let's, so make no mistake, man, there's going to be somebody's sales system at work, okay? So when you get with the client, right? Okay, this is you. And you get in front of the client, there are two sales systems at work. Only one will win, okay? And you get to decide which sales system you're going to use. Okay, so let me give you what the client's sales system is. What do you mean, Alex, the client's sales system? Oh, yes, oh, yes. Clients have a sales system, okay? So their sales system is they're going to be nice to you. They're going to suck you in. They're going to just roll out the red carpet. They're going to be so hospitable. And this is their form of bond and rapport. Because their objective is to suck the rates out of you. They want to see rates, baby. They don't intend to buy. Their objective is selling you that they want it bad enough that you're going to give up your rates. And your power, gang, is that you have all the rates to all these carriers, and the client wants those rates. They want to know how much this is going to cost. Okay, so they're going to be nice to you. Okay, they're going to tell you what you want to hear. Okay, they're going to tell you that they have pain. They're going to say, yeah, Alex, we really need this. I just can't see my family, having to pay the mortgage. I don't want to see them lose their house. And in your mind, you're going, yippee, 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 Hercules, Hercules, I have got it. I got the sale because you're so nice to me. It's like in your mind, oh man, they're so nice. They give me water. They sit me down at the table. They're so nice. And then they're telling me, oh my gosh, I need this. I'm like, oh, this is going to be easy. You're going to let your guard down. You're going to say, oh, great. They're going to tell you, and then they're going to suck you in, and then they're going to so it usually leads into so Alex, what do you think we can qualify for? Like, we're just, the pricing and is real important to us. We got to get, oh yeah, I'll get in your budget. You really need this, right? Yeah, we really need this. We really want to do something. We don't want to wait anymore. They can say all those words, and you think it's done. So you're thinking, okay, well, I'm going to give them the rates. So you give them the rates, right? And then you try to close it. Okay, well, let's go ahead and fill out an application. There's only one way to know if you can qualify for this is we need to send in an application. And then this is where they give you, okay, you could all say it once. See on three. 1, 2, 3. Think about it. They're going to tell you they want to think about it. They're going to give you the think about it. Okay, then they're going to the next step is they're going to do the post think about it. And what that is Alex, we appreciate how you educated us and the rates you give us. I mean, look, you're one of the finest salespeople we ever sat down in front of. You're the nicest person. You didn't pressure us. I mean, geez, you know what? When we decide to do this, we're going to call you back and we're going to get this done. So your time isn't wasted. I hope you didn't think you wasted your time. You really didn't. We're going to definitely call you. You're going to be the first person we call. By the way, do you have any business cards? Because I'm going to give your business cards to all my people at church. just to make you feel better. And you're sitting there going, what the heck happened? And like you fumble and you give them like 3 or 4 business cards and you're like in a daze going, what the heck happened? And then this results, no sale. You didn't help nobody because the client used their sales system on you. It's called the Think About It sales system, okay? The Think About It sales system. So you have a choice when you walk into a house to use our sales system, right? Which is the ATM Submarine system, okay? Is you're going to establish bond and rapport, okay? You're going to do an upfront contract with them because you're going to let them know what's going to happen. You're going to find pain, find the emotional pain, why they got to deal with it. We're going to make sure they feel comfortable that we're going to get it in their budget. We're going to solidify the decision process so no one fakes anyone out. We know what's going to happen for them to make a decision. And then we're going to fulfill our agreement, fulfill the contract. We're going to show them rates. Okay, we're going to fulfillment is showing them rates. They're going to pick one. We're going to take care of them. We're going to close the sale, right? And then we do the post sale because we're going to lock it down, right? And then we have a sale. You can barely see that. Right, this is ATM Submarine. You take them through this or you're going to go through their system. Okay, now in-home sales, our top people get a 75% close rate. This is in-home. Okay, brand new people are 55%. You're going to close a little over half the people you actually sit down with, up to 75%. You know, telesales, you know, maybe the top people are doing 50%, maybe you're doing 25%, okay? If you're really bad, okay, 50%. So that's the range, and this is what it is. It is what it is, man. Because like you're gonna have a higher no-show rate. Okay, your no-show rate, the no-show rate in home should be about 70%. No-show rate here is about 50%, okay? For telesales. Okay, so that is what it is. And like there's a trade-off for everything. Blacks, I don't want to go in homes. Then don't go into homes, but understand you got to be pounding the phone. Like, and there's a trade-off. You don't have to go out your house. You don't have to, drive 30 minutes to a no-show and then start door knocking. You don't got to do any of that. But you're grinding on the phone 12 hours a day to make maybe 2 sales, maybe 3 sales, and you got to be on that phone 12 hours. 10 hours, okay? So there's a trade-off. There's a trade-off. So as long as you know that, this can be profitable as well as this. Okay, but like temper your expectations, especially on all the different lead programs that we have outside of direct mail, okay? And these are a number perennially been these numbers in home sales. So your decision is, do you want the clients to think about a system or you want to take them through our ATM subsystem? Because if you take them through our system, then it becomes more predictable. You're going to get rid of the pretenders. You're going to spend less time with time wasters, thank God, and you spend more time with where people are going to be profitable. I mean, you only have 24 hours in a day, gang, and every minute that goes by is a minute that you can never get back the rest of your life. Never, ever, ever, ever. They haven't figured out time travel yet. You can't go back in time. You cannot waste your time with people that are not worth your time. Okay, now look, that's not saying everyone deserves a shot at getting life insurance as long as they love their families and they're ready, willing, and able to do it now. Look, it's okay if they're not ready now, but I want to know that up front. And then I want to get on with my day to find the next person that wants to take care of their families. Hence, the telesale allows you to kind of move on quickly. If someone no-shows you, you're on to the next lead, right? If you don't close, you're on to the next lead, and you're slamming. And you might, maybe you'll need a few more leads. Maybe you need more leads to close than you do on in-home sales, but you're just slamming. Okay, does that make sense? All right, so let's give you an overview. Again, why do we call it a submarine? We call it submarine for a reason. So let me a little periscope. We all live in the yellow submarine. Okay, so the 7 elements of the sales system is bond and rapport, upfront contract. Remember the book, the book I'm telling you about. Pain, budget, decision, fulfillment, and post-sale. Okay. So each compartment, and the reason why I use the submarine analogy is that the submarine, you can close off a compartment so it's watertight. So let's say you take damage from depth charges in this compartment, you can seal off this compartment and this compartment so the rest of the sub doesn't flood, right? And it's survivable. You had opportunity to, live, okay? So the way that this works, the center submarine works, is that you have to make sure you establish one thing before the next. So bond rapport, you got to get that bond rapport with the client or you can't move forward. So bond rapport, you got to get that done. And then upfront contracts, so we all know what's going down, right? Pain finding, you got to get the emotional pain. I'll go into more detail with that. Make sure they feel comfortable with the budget, they're comfortable with the decision process. We're going to take care of them here with the electronic application after they pick a premium that's going to work. And then we lock the sale with the post-sale. Now, some of these things can be interchangeable. You can combine some compartments, but eventually, like Minikino says in his video, eventually you're going to get to the same destination, the fulfillment, right? You can go do this backwards, okay? But as long as you get each of the compartments completed. So what are the compartments designed to do, okay? The bond and rapport is to establish trust so the client will believe you. The objective is they feel comfortable enough that what you're telling them is true. And one of the best ways to do this is to ask questions. Okay, so the client, is answering your questions. And there's a lot of other elements. I've got like hour-long videos on how to really do bond and rapport right. But this is establishing that, that relationship here. And if there's any skill that you need to do more than any other is being able to establish trust with the client, particularly in telesales. Telesales, you don't got the benefit of reading body language, which is why the closing rates are lower. So that's why I recommend if you do a video call, you should. So you at least see the client. If you don't do it, then you've got the lowest opportunity to close the client because you got to totally do it with your voice. Now, people are very skilled at doing it with their voice and listening to the client's voice, okay? That's why telesales takes a greater skill level than in-home sales, far and away, far and away. And so you got to cut yourself slack when you suck at telesales to get better and better at it because you got to work on the most important thing, and that's this trust, the bond rapport, the settling trust. That's why the closing rates are low. So you got to get this down. Now, we have some tremendous agents that sell over the phone, but they're the best at creating bond and rapport. See, they were already good at it in the home. They were able to translate it. And that's what's interesting is that some people that have been really good in the home have sucked translating it to telesale. And the reason why that is because they were good at all the other stuff. And they did, they're better at doing bon rapport face to face than they were over the phone. And that's the difference why they couldn't ever really master, the over the phone sales, right? Upfront contracting pain, you're establishing that the client needs it. They need this product. They need this product, okay? The budget and decision establishes that they want it. See, needing it and wanting it are two different things. In other words, you might have a need, but you don't need it now. Here, wanting it is I want it now. They want it now, right? They want it now. And then fulfillment is they can afford it. And then the post-sale is that they're going to keep it, right? So really, if you kind of look at the combination of these compartments, Minikino like combines them, right? Because he gets them to these objectives of measuring the client. This is how you measure whether or not someone needs to be your client, okay? This is how you know they deserve your time, right? Is like, seriously, how many of y'all really sold something, like really sold something that they kept it with someone who did not trust you? You know what I'm saying? Like, chat at me. Who's ever sold anything where someone kept the product when they did not trust you one lick, right? Think about salespeople in your life that you sat down with, that you didn't trust. Did you ever buy from someone you didn't trust? Yeah, it's kind of intuitive, isn't it? You're kind of thinking, well, that's ridiculous, Alex. Absolutely. But how many of you try to push the sale because you know they don't trust you? It's the client that has their arms crossed, their lip poked out, and they have no eye contact. There's no eye contact. The wife especially. She's looking around. She's not looking at you. She's looking around. Whenever I have that happen where the wife's not with me, but the guy is, I say, can I call a timeout, please? I do the timeout. This is Sandler. Pure Sandler, man. Hey, can I call a timeout? They're going, well, yeah, I guess. What do you mean? Mary. And I just like, I'm getting the feeling like I must have done something to make you mad, because I don't get that you're really into this. Did I do something to offend you? So you did the non-confrontational setup. Yeah, this is all technique, man. It's pure technique. Can I call timeout? Pattern interrupt. Okay, we're doing the typical answering objection, pattern interrupt. Pattern interrupt. Can I call timeout? Yeah, sure. Mary, I'm getting the feeling. It's non-confrontation when you say you're getting the feeling. No one can dispute how you feel, right? Instead of saying, Mary, you're just not into this. That's confrontational. When you say, Mary, I'm getting the feeling like I must have done something to make you mad. You fall on your sword. You fall on your sword to live another day, to fight another day. That's all you're trying to do. I must have done something to make you mad at me, because I get the feeling like you're not with this, and I must have done something. What did I do? And then you kind of give those soft, compassionate eyes, and you're just really sincere, and you just shut up and you don't say another word. Don't say one word, because whoever says the next word loses, man. You want her to say the next word. A lot of times it's because the guy didn't tell her about the appointment. She's upset because she didn't know you were coming over. Her hair's a mess. The house is a mess. She just wasn't ready for a guest to come over to their house, right? Now, let me ask you, how do you know that over the phone? You have to be very savvy to know that person's not into it. It's how they answer the questions, really. I mean, you got to be mega intuitive, right? You can do it, okay, but you got to be very intuitive about it. I mean, that's something that you can learn, actually, by listening to how they answer questions. You can tell when someone's with you or not by just how they answer questions. So that's an idea of having to develop trust, the needed. So the upfront contract, what you're trying to do there is you're trying to, you get permission to move forward. Like this whole thing is getting permission to move forward in the sales process. And you want the client to feel like they're in control. You're always asking them, does that sound good to you? How's that sound to you, right? Upfront contract, it's getting them the idea of what's going to happen, why I'm calling, right? I'm calling because you sent this in, and my job is to get you this information. I just need to verify some information for you, and then I can figure out what we can get you. I work with, 20 different insurance companies, so I've got a vast number of things we can do for you, but I want to make sure that we're doing the right thing for you. You know what I mean? It's getting nice and chilly in the outside office, right? And so you get them feeling comfortable that they're in control. That's the whole idea of upfront contract, is getting them to feel they're in control. I don't think I'm getting focused on if I stand back here, move forward. I guess a little blurry. And then pain finding is, so what was that motivated you to send this in? Who are you trying to take care of? Who's the loved one that's going to have to pick up the pieces when you're gone? What's their names? Finding the names of their family, I know that's bothering me now. Gosh, blurry. Okay, anyway. Getting them to the emotional reason why they need it. And look, if there's no real pain there, then they're not going to need anything to solve it. Like I've been in meetings where the person had plenty of insurance. They really didn't need any more insurance. No matter how much I tried to shove death benefit down their throat, they didn't need it. And even if you were so skilled at selling them, it's a chargeback waiting to happen. You know what I mean? It's a chargeback waiting to happen. So pain, you've got to get them into this emotional situation, the emotional state that they love their families and want to take care of them, right? So finding pain, and this is, if you want to emphasize any time, this is all the time. Relative to a sale, maybe this, like in the in-home sales, there's a lot more massaging. Telephone sales is shorter. It just seems that way. It seems like you're just kind of progressing the client through. In-home sales, you're really massaging it. Now, time, I'm not talking you're spending an hour doing this, but if it had to take you an hour to get it, then take an hour. Okay, but this ought to be 15, 20 minutes, honestly. Then everything else, this is about 3 minutes. The fulfillment is about half an hour. Okay, this is 3 minutes. So relative to the time, this might be 15 minutes. You are making sure you got that trust going before you do any of the rest. When you feel like good, that the juju's there and that they feel comfortable with you, okay? And it's not you telling them stuff to make them feel comfortable with you. I'm a really good guy. I'm a father of five children. And it's not about you, man. It's you finding out about them. It's interesting, when you find out more about them, they think you're really cool. When you're asking all the questions about their family, about how long they live in the house, just et cetera. You know what I'm saying? Why is your favorite color is red, or your favorite football team is the Bengals? Like on some of the final expense leads, there's a connection type of thing on there. This is where you want to spend your time. So now, once you got the emotional pain, okay, you know that they need it. They really need it. Okay, now let's find out if they want it. So the budget part is making them feel comfortable that our job is to fit it in your budget. You get to choose your budget. Okay, we're not going to choose it for you. You know what you can afford, so you decide how much it costs, not me. So we want them to feel comfortable that they're in control. The budget is, we're not going to try to, we're going to do our best. We've done this a long time. Our specialty is fitting these programs into people's budget because you got to afford it. If you can't afford it, Joe, then solving your problem, it's not going to solve your problem. Okay. And then the decision process. So let me tell you what happens next. This is how it's going to go down. Okay, you don't say it like that, but this is where you close the sale. The sale is closed when they agree to the decision process, right? I'm going to show you 3 options. You're going to pick one. We're going to fill out a request for coverage form online, and we're going to find out if the insurance company is going to approve you or not. I would love to do it, but I don't have that power. You're a wonderful couple, but the insurance company has to do it. So all we're doing right now is filling out the request for coverage form. We're going to find the right premium price that'll fit your budget, and then we're going to send it up to the insurance company. They could say yes, they could say no. We hope they say yes. Okay. In the event they don't say yes, then I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you some other options, and it's probably based on your health. So in order to do that, I'm going to have to ask you a few more questions about your health situation so I can come up with the right products for you. Okay. And this is where we go into the health questions. Okay. And then, okay, I think I know the right product for you. Let me call you back. So in Telesales, let me call you back in about 3 to 5 minutes, and then I'll have your options. Okay. This is what Minikino does. You know, if what you're doing there in the home is you're going to your underwriting guides, determining if they can fit into the product you have in mind for them, or you're calling me as a chief underwriter. Alex, I got this wonderful couple here. You know, Joe's 55, Mary's 54. Joe's diagnosed with diabetes last year. He's on metformin. He's on Losartan for blood pressure, and he's on rovastatin for cholesterol. He's a non-smoker. Mary has no medications. Their mortgage is $150,000, 30 years on it. Or you can say they're looking for final expense insurance. It's like, okay, great. As your chief underwriter, let me see what we can do for them. So final expense, I think CFG choice whole life will work perfect for them. Now, if it's a mortgage protection, I think CFG Safe Shield will work for them. Okay. You probably show them 150,000, 100,000, 75,000 are their 3 choices. Just make it easy, whatever. Then you go actually to the client, and then you do the fulfillment. And the fulfillment is what can they afford, and then let's fill out the application. Like it's done when they agree to the decision process, and then boom, fulfillment. And then post sale. Oh yeah, and you're doing the ERS inside the fulfillment. You're not separating it out. We used to do a post sale. We're sticking it in after you get the beneficiary information. Okay. Then post sale, hey Joe, do you feel good at $125 a month? You feel good about making that taking care of your family for $125 for the next 30 years? Christmas is coming. The goose is getting fat. The bills are coming in January. You know, when you see this $125 being drafted out of your account, are you going to want to call me and tell me you want to cancel because you can't afford it? Or it's vacation time, summer vacation. You kind of spend a little bit more money than you wanted to. You got the credit card bills coming, and then you know that this is coming out of your account, or you want to call me because $125 is too much. Then you shut up and let them say what they're going to say, right? So the post sale helps you lock it down. The other thing I like to do in the post sale is tell them, now, Joe, Mary, you're going to have questions on the next couple days. So what I want you to do is I want you to write them down on a piece of paper. I will call you back in a couple days to answer those questions, okay? So this is a point of trust. Do you call them back? You told them you would. So you continue to build trust with them, right? Trust. When you do what you say you're going to do, you call them back 2 days later. Now, most agents are afraid to call back. Why? Because you don't want to hear the client tell you, no, Alex, that pause. Hey, Joe, this is Alex. I said I'd call you back for some questions. What questions do you have for me? Pause. And then they say, well, Alex, me and my wife been thinking about this, and I don't think we really can do this anymore, right? And that is why you call back 2 days later, because you want to know if that's in their mind, the buyer's remorse. You want to lock it down by making sure that, because you have a chance. See, when they say that 2 days later, it's not solidified decision. It's still open for discussion, right? So you have a chance to talk to them, say, hey, listen, you know what? I thought when I left, we might have been pushing your budget. I just got that feeling, that $75 a month one, remember that provided half the mortgage, amount so that Mary can refinance the house. And now instead of, $1,000, the mortgage payment is $500 a month. Do you think Mary can afford $500 a month after you're gone? Well, yeah, I think she can. Oh, perfect. I'll tell you what, I'm going to open up the application. I'm going to go back, revise it, and then let's just go ahead and apply for, 50,000. Okay, and get that back down to, where it's affordable for you. Is that cool? So you have a chance 2 days later. But then when you call back a week later, they say, hey, got good news, policies approved. You can expect the draft to come out, when you said you wanted to come out. Well, hey, Alex, please cancel it. Please cancel it. We just really can't afford it. We can't do it. Click. And you're going, what happened? I thought they wanted it. Well, it's because you didn't call them 2 days later. You waited a week to 2 weeks. They made the decision 2 days later, and then they had a whole nother week to solidify that decision. So you lose because you didn't do your job at following up. That's the post-sale, okay? So there's elements in like Minikino Script and our ATM in-home sales script really has all these elements in it. But I want to show you kind of what Minikino is doing in his telesales script that points all this stuff out. And like I said, I've got like an hour and 15 video that goes into super detail in these, which is on the Post Bootcamp website. So let's take a look at the Minikino. So is this making sense, or is this kind of boring, y'all? I am not endorsing one method or another. I don't want to do anything that you feel uncomfortable doing. Although I am challenging everyone to get out your comfort zone, man. This business is about getting out your comfort zone. Okay, hold on. So remember, Paul has been doing this for what, 7 years? He used to sell meat off the back of a truck. Okay, he sell meat off the back of a truck. So this guy's got no fear. And so he started to get real good at this. He wasn't that good when he got started. He started getting real good at it. So remember, a lot of this stuff is kind of his words, but he accomplished the same thing. Now, do you know Paul? He's just such a nice guy. He's just sort of that one of those guys that you like immediately. He's got that personality. Now, if you don't have that kind of personality, you got to work harder on bottom rapport, right? So here it's like, this is all the intro bottom rapport stuff, and there's a little bit, anyway, it's like, hey, Joe, this is Alex Avian. And the reason why I use first and last name is because on some of the leads and some of the states like Pennsylvania, you have to identify yourself first and last name. Okay, you have to do that. And there's an element too, when you use your first and last name, of just some air of officialness to it, or there's, some seriousness. You're not saying, hey, Joe, this is Al, which I hate the name Al. Don't ever call me Al. It's a great song by Paul Simon. But don't call me Al, man. Okay, it's like, hey, Joe, this is Alex Avian. I was actually giving you a call back, Joe, about the request for information that you made on the final expense benefits for life insurance programs, okay? And my simple job is really just to get the information that you wanted back out to you, Joe. And I wasn't sure if you had a little bit of time now or you wanted to set up something up later today or tomorrow, okay? So remember, Minikino is using a lot of A leads. These are fresh leads, right? And he's assuming that they remember. So this is why he does this. He wants to get the pushback here. He wants to get the pushback, whether they remember, because he's telling them who they are, why he's calling. And he's telling what My simple job is to get this information to you, right? And then the conversation happens after this. It's his intro. It's how you move into it. Now, we have the other intros near the end. Okay, we got the intake form. There's a whole bunch of other intros, second to the last page, social media lead, you know, direct mail mortgage leads, etc., that you can use as an intro, okay? But you have to get the conversation started. So you've been dialing the phone, finally someone answers the phone, boom. This will determine whether you move forward or not, right? They either remember it, or they don't remember it. And, you know, with the older leads, we have this, you know, the supervisor script, but you're just seeing if they're going to move forward with you or not. That's all you're doing. A lot of times objection handling is just, you got to find the right person, and then you got to do a little bit of on your part to turn them around. But you know what? You can't turn them around, then good. Let me move on to the next lead, right? Don't beat yourself up because you weren't good at objection handling. Objection handling only works so much. Okay, so like, don't get hung up on it. Just move to the next lead. Okay. Okay, say, well, they don't have time. Well, I don't have time right now. So I don't have a lot of time either. This is actually not a script. What time are you working later today or tomorrow? Okay, they have time. Look, I see you over there in Cincinnati. How long have you lived in Cincinnati? You guys, so this is the bond and rapport stuff. You got to find out about them. Oh, I've lived here all my life. Cool, we brought you to this neck of woods. So all this stuff, okay, hold on. Oh, hey, how you doing?
Good, how you doing?
Good, thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too, take care.
Morton, is that correct?
Pardon me?
Last name's Morton?
Yeah, 1301. That's just weird because that's not me.
Yeah, I know. You may just, it might be a past, or like a past resident of this place.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
I'll check with the leasing people.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can take it back and refuse it, and you don't even have to deal with it.
Yeah, if you could do that,
No
that's
problem.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too. Stay warm.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, Chris is not in yet. Okay, we'll cut that out. Okay. So this bond report, so you see how he kind of starts in with them. So the intro allows him to move forward. And when he moves forward, guess what? He starts getting into the bond rapport. Okay. So then upfront contract and pain fund, he kind of combines it. Okay, so listen to what he does. Okay, well, look, really all my job is to figure out what you qualify for and then get you the information specific to you. That is upfront contract. Upfront contract, baby. We work with a bunch of companies, Mutual of Omaha, Transamerica, Foresters. So we're using like names that they've probably heard of. And then we're kind of softening the ground for maybe Foresters they're not familiar with. So it's like guilt by association. When you throw Mutual of Omaha, Transamerica, Foresters, they think, oh, well, Foresters must be like Mutual of Omaha and Transamerica, which I've heard. We've got a bunch of them, so we can get everybody approved and then get their best rate based on what you can get approved for. So now, Joe, most people that request this information, they fill it out for one of a few reasons. Either they're thinking about their spouse, their kids, their grandkids, leaving some money behind. What was it for you that you had that had you looking into this today? Pain finding. And then you restate what they said, okay? And you're asking more questions, okay? So pain finding is a bunch of questions. Pain finding involves at least 10 drill down questions to get to the emotional pain. Okay, so you want to make sure that your funeral was covered. So let me ask you this, Joe. Let's say you die tomorrow. Who is it that would have to be in charge of your funeral? Like, who would be the person that would be paying that bill? So now you're personalizing it to the person that they love. And once you find that name, you invoke the name of the person they love every time you talk about pain and what they're looking to do. Mary. Let's say this, I want to, well, Marcia is going to be the one. Marcia. I know, I'm dating myself big time. Marcia. Yeah, Marcia, man, let's take care of Marcia. So Marcia's going to be one that's going to have to flip the bill for this. So now you invoke the name of Marcia because this is someone that he loves. And you know what? When you say the name of the person you love, when someone says Ginny to me, my heart just thinks about Ginny. I visualize Ginny, and then my heart swells with love because I love my wife. See, you're trying to ignite the emotion of the name of that person, right? So like, tell me what happens. You say Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. The power of Jesus' name, all kneel before the name of Jesus, right? Like it should give you that feeling of gratefulness. Like, I don't know just for you, but if I say it enough, I'll be crying because I'm so grateful. We're doing that here, right? Invoke the name of the person they love. See, there's all this great psychology. Yeah, you know, I wish I could turn the AC on. But wintertime, the AC shuts down, they have the heat. So there's high heat, low heat, no heat. Anyway, I'm reacting to what Don said on the thing. Now y'all think I have Tourette's, right? I start popping off something. It's like I'm responding to the chat line. All right, so man, okay, I can go on and on. Okay, all right. So it'd be your wife, Marcia, that's paying for it. So let me ask you this. I'm guessing when you die that you just don't want to leave the financial burden on her, right? Well, yeah. Well, I'm guessing you don't want the funeral to be the last thing they remember about you. Having to pay for the funeral and not being able to afford it. Oh, that's a good one, man. You don't want to have the guilt when you're dead and gone and you're dancing in heaven in your white robe, you know. And Marcia is trying to figure out how to pay for this thing. You want to grab them, man. You just get that guilt thing, especially if they're Catholic, man. They'll respond to the guilt thing big time. I know. Anyway, do you see how Minikino goes into these compartments, right? He's like, it's like classic Sandler, but he doesn't know he's doing it. He's just gravitated to it because it's a sound way of doing it. So budget and decision. Now his budget is a little subtle here, but it's still in there. Well, I think I should be able to help you with this. All I really got to do is figure out exactly what you qualify for, Joe. And then once we find something that fits your needs and your budget, fits your needs and your budget, the next thing that'll happen is we'll fill out the paperwork and send it to the insurance company. Okay, so I'm gonna need some basic health information from you. It's real important, I should probably put this in, real important that we're as accurate as possible, because if you leave something out and they check the medical insurance board database on your health and it doesn't match, they're gonna think you're trying to hide something, and then they may not approve you. So we wanna be as accurate as possible. Does that make sense? So what you do is you put a backbone in them so they tell the truth. Then you fill out the intake form. So that's at the back here, the intake form, you know, date of birth, the highlighted ones. If you want to get through it quick, it's the date of birth. You want to establish the date of birth, because sometimes on the lead, it's the wrong date of birth. You know, they might, or their age. Like we just had a lead, someone said that they're 87 when they're really 78. And thank God that, I think that might have been Joy. Joy called and she established that 78, not 87, you see? So you got to reestablish these things. You know, health issues, medications, etc. Other issues are medications. You want to know all their medications. You have to get their medications. Okay, you write it all down. If you have any DUIs or criminal history, blah, blah, blah. Boom. Now you've got that filled out, so you can call me and I can help you effectively, okay? So now you move on. Cool. I think I know the best program for you, but let me do this. Let me just double check. You can even throw in, I'm going to check with my chief underwriters, make sure that we get you the best program based on this information. I just want to make sure I show you the best thing. So let me do this. Let me call the underwriters. As long as I can get through to them right away, I should give you a call back in about 5-10 minutes. I'll give you a buzz back. It'll take about 5-10 minutes. I'm going to look this up and I'm going to give you a buzz right back. I'll give you a call back in about 5-10 minutes. So you're making sure they know that you're going to call them back right away. Now, if you're in front of the client, you can call me as a chief underwriter, and then we can make recommendations. Or you use all your underwriting tools on alliancequoting.com and look at all the underwriting tools to determine if your client can fit into the product that you have in mind for them, okay? And having the medications are the best way to do that, okay? So now you move into fulfillment. So you got the major 5 compartments closed: bond rapport, upfront contract, paying, budget, and decision. You've closed every compartment. Now you're allowed to move into fulfillment. You call them back. Okay, so it's like I came up with a couple of different options that you qualify for. And basically, I just want to go back through this with you, Joe. My job really is just to go over this with you. Okay, again, you're really kind of solidifying the decision process. You're going back and retreading ground that you already had with them. Okay, now I could show, then you say, okay, now can you, piece of paper, do you have a piece of paper or something? So you can write this down so I can give you the information. Okay, now if you're in front of them, you're just writing them down, and then you're explaining each one as you write it down. Okay, then you give them the 3 quotes. So the first quote I'm going to give you is the number 3. This is the gold package. It's going to be $145 a month. It's going to include covering your entire mortgage, then 50% return of premium. Or you can say this is a gold package. This is the Supreme funeral and final expense program, $25,000, more than enough probably to cover your funeral. And then maybe give your daughter some extra money to get rid of the house. Take care of, she might have to take time off from work and take care of all those things that she has to take care of for you. Okay, now this is silver package, then this is the bronze package. Or you can go option 1, 2, or 3, whatever. Okay. Now, which one of these you feel like it fits your needs and your budget, and the best at making sure you feel your family's protected? Okay. Then you got, it's out of my budget or options picked. All right, then you just go ahead and write it up. Okay. So, okay, cool. So what I'm really going to do is put in your basic information. What's going to happen from there is they're going to look at your medical stuff. They're going to say yes or no. So once that happens, we can increase it or decrease it. The most important thing is making sure you feel good about it every month. So I know, Joe, you're over there on, 4128 Rosalita Court, and your birthday is, and then you're filling out the application. Okay, so you kind of transition right to the application, because remember you closed it at the decision compartment. Okay, and then after you get to the beneficiary information, then you go into the ERS. Okay, Joe, next time we need to fill out the names for your emergency contact list, blah, blah, blah. Okay, you fill out the contact list forms, complete the application, okay, so on. Here's I can't afford it, I can't do it right now. We explain how the signature process is like the main deal, right? So you're going over what's going to happen to get the signature done. And the post-sale, so let me tell you what happens from here. Congratulations, you're not covered during the underwriting period. So if anything should happen to you, we can submit a claim. When the carrier receives your application, they'll either draft your account immediately or whatever you explain to them when the draft is going to come out. You have to reiterate when the draft is going to come out. The carrier will take about 7 days to approve you, so on and so on. Final questions, you feel good about taking your family for $125 a month. Anything you can think of preventing you from making this payment, I'm going to call you in a couple days, so on. So you got the post sale there, and then here are the other intros, etc. So that is the phone script for telesales. Okay, and you can see how you can adapt it to in-home sales. But our in-home script, and the reason why I do a script is not for you to memorize it, it's for you to understand the process and the words, to get the words in your head that you're supposed to use when you're doing this, okay? And that script needs to be cleaned up some more. I'm gonna do that so that the words, because we transcribe Minikino's webinar word for word, so that it can be cleaned up. But you could do that. You can clean it up yourself. You can use the words that feel really comfortable for you, okay? So the ATM PowerPoint, okay, it's based on this, the ATM. So this is an ATM. And then we have a script, that script accompanies it. So when you're with the client, you're kind of going through this, but you're not reading every page. You know, you give them a little bit something about yourself, but you're finding out about them. This is purely for you to ask about them. Show a picture of your family. This is all bond report right here. You know, you talk about we represent A-rated carriers. These are some pictures. See, there's a lot more things that you can do when you're in the home to really solidify a sale. You're gonna tell them what we're gonna accomplish. This is all upfront contract. Okay, this is based on the Brent Swindell video that's on the NA University, right? This is getting your why. We qualify them financially. Health pre-qualification, this is the same kind of thing that we get. Budget, what happens next, how the final expense program works, how mortgage protection works, the 3 quotes, time to fill out the application. Here's what happens from here. Final questions, then emergency response system. Now this is doing the ERS at the end, not in the middle of the application. We're recommending that you do it in the middle, so on. Okay, so we have the script. I don't want to bust the time too much, so I'm gonna kind of speed through. So the appointment script, again, goes through everything that you're using for the ATM. And you don't even need the ATM. You can just kind of walk someone through this. So the bond and rapport, upfront contract, begin the pain findings, gives you very specific questions. Okay, budget, decision process. Do you see how short these are? It's not a big deal. It's guiding the client through how you want them to think and feel as they're going through the process. Fulfillment. So it has everything kind of outlined here. Post-sale wrap-up, final questions. Okay. Okay, so let me wrap up with this and kind of really, this really kind of closes the loop on that video I did on what you're trying to get the client to feel, okay? And so again, the big thing here, I'm just gonna call it out. You want them to feel like they can trust you, okay? Right? Here, you want them to feel they're in control. You know, they can stop the process, whatever. You want to feel emotional pain by not doing this, okay? This is urgency, that they need to do it now. This, they can feel they can afford it. They're comfortable in their budget because it's become a priority. So if you see how kind of this kind of matches that, it's a priority. Seriously, I'm running a Zoom call, dude. Okay, they can afford it. Then here, they value. This has value to them so they can keep it. Okay, so each one of these are, you have an objective to accomplish the need it, want it, afford it, keep it. So that ties that video in. All right, gang. That's the process. Whether it's telesales or in-home sales, the process is the process. And so, like, you don't need a script as much as you just got to define the words you're going to use. Practice the words you're going to use and all the questions you're going to ask, right? You don't have to use Minikino's words. I'm going to clean that script up a little bit better. Like, that's what I do. I just kind of tweak. So you're going to get another version of that. Asking questions. Got to get this book by Antonio Garrido. Let me, this book rocks. It takes you through the how to ask the questions. takes you through each compartment. And once you master what you're trying to accomplish with a client, then you can really do this anytime, anywhere. Like if you're just trying to, yeah, it does kind of go beyond Psych 101. I mean, think about any interaction when you're trying to sell someone on something. Like, you know, like you're trying to sell your wife on a decision. You bond a report. Honey, you look beautiful today. You are just looking exquisite. Hey, listen, we need to kind of come to some decision on where we want to eat. Now, I know that you are hungry. I am hungry, so we need to find something quick. You know, I think let's go to a nice place. You know, we just got a massive commission check. Yeah, we got a big one coming, man. Massive commission check. And so why don't we, you know, let's go somewhere nice. You want to go somewhere nice? You know, yeah, why don't we go somewhere nice? Okay, yeah, that sounds good to me too. Fulfillment is like, all right, so I've got 3 choices for you. Let's go to J. Alexander's, or let's go to the Pine Club for prime rib, you know, and we'll pick a third one. PF Chang's. So which one of those 3 do you think you'd like to go to? Now look, it might be filled up. We might not be able to get in. So it would be your second choice. Okay, so when we go there, if it's like a 45-minute wait, then we'll try PF Chang's. So let's go to J. Alexander's, and then if that's to PF Chang's, okay, cool. All right, man, honey, I'm looking forward to this time with you. Post-sale, right? Post-sale. Do you see how you could do it in any part of your life? It's bond and rapport, upfront contract, pain finding, budget, decision, fulfillment, and post-sale. Man, you get that in your head of what you're trying to do with all those 7 compartments, and it doesn't take an hour and a half to go through it. It could be 15 minutes. It could be 5 minutes like I just did. See how you just kind of walk through someone through the process, and you're going to close a bunch more because they're following your system, not their think about it system, okay? So rock on, man. If you need any of these resources, just let me know. I'll get it out to you. I've sent it out a whole bunch of times, but I'm going to tweak that script again. Anyway, any questions?
Yeah, I just have. How do you handle the think about it? With, I know now it seems like we're getting faster and faster approvals. How do you? Because I mean, it's possible to get approval while you're sitting with them, right? I mean, so what do you? How do you?
I'm not going to tell them that it's approved.
Okay. Okay.
I'm going to wait. I don't want to tell them right there and there, oh, look, it's been approved.
Okay. Okay.
You know, I want to make sure, yeah, because, you know, once it's approved,
I've heard some, yeah, I've heard some people that they like to do that, and I just want to get your opinion.
Well,
so, okay.
You just have to know what you want to do, okay? Because it's hard to get into the closing to think about it, you know, and, you know, there's something to be said for like getting a decision right away so you know that they're going to keep it or not, right? But sometimes people just need to think about it whether or not they know it's approved. I want them to think that they are still trying to qualify for it, right? Because people want what they think they can't get. You know, once they know they got it, it's like, well,
right.
Now, so that's how I think about it. Now, someone can convince me otherwise, and I'm open for someone to convince me otherwise. But I like to use that, you know, hey, let's try to apply for this and let's see if we can get it. You know, and we don't want to sound like a used car salesman. Okay, I'm going to bring this offer to the manager, and then yeah, you know what they do? He goes to the manager, hey, this is what they offered. Let's have a cigarette. They're smoking a cigarette. They're talking about BS. And after about 30, 35 minutes, okay, I think it's time. They've been sweating. You know, they're listening to you because they got a listening device in that sales office. They go back in. Ah, man. You know, we just can't do that. We just can't do it for that low. You know, we need to make money here. I mean, we got to pay the light bill and the heating bill here. And just that offer, I mean, really, we're practically giving that car away for that much. How many of y'all heard that crap? Anyway, but that's a valid question, Bruce. All right, man. Hope it made sense. Rock on. Let's do this thing. Get on the leaderboard next week. And I am continuing to get those leads out. So they're coming in, man. So you should expect maybe some new ones today. So rock on. God bless. We'll see you later.